Going on YouTube? Got a little bit better look going on. Gonna get on a banger story today. Had to get on a video, definitely. Had my brain rolling from it, man. Had it crazy. The story I'm gonna get to, all real, and I've done a lot of prison stuff, but this one's about where I could have ended up and where 3 people I know have passed away and died, man. And I couldn't say anything negative, and it is what it is. You know, it's sad. It's crazy because 2 out of the 3, I'm gonna give you a top 3. And a lot of us, we can feel this, be in these situations. It's very easy. Alright, so let's get in these top 3. Rest in peace to the people that have died, and let's get into it. I always want to do something positive in my videos, right? I always want someone to take away something from these videos, you know? People that are into drugs, using drugs, you know, selling drugs, doing that lifestyle, you know, show you that there's a better way of doing stuff and better way to live. And if these videos just reach one person, I did my job, you know what I mean? So let's start off the video with the number 3. So about this man named, his name was Tyson. It's Tyson, Colorado. Again, I'm not gonna say bad things about him. You know, he's not alive to defend himself. So I'm gonna get into these. And so with Tyson's story, he was actually best friends, or really good friends with my best friend. And his story was exactly just like mine. Drug addiction, selling drugs, hooked on heroin, you know. And on a positive turn of events, man, didn't want no part of the life no more, you know. Wasn't about that no more. Wanted to get clean and sober. So he actually did. He actually got clean and sober, you know. And this is pretty crazy because a lot of people, yes, your life will get a lot better when you get sober, but that doesn't mean your problems go away. You know what I mean? Like, we have to remember too that, you know, life doesn't just magically get way better and we are happy when we get sober. Yes, that does happen. So I haven't seen Tyson for a long time. The last time I actually saw Tyson he wasn't doing the things he should have been doing, but he was selling Suboxone. So it's the same thing, same issues, but for him it was kind of like a justification that, hey, you know, I'm not selling drugs, I'm not high on drugs, I got clean off Suboxone, but I still need money. So the only reason I'll say this 100% because someone that's in my family, he would constantly call and say, hey, will you buy these? I need these. I have a new daughter, I have a new kid, and I need money. We're living out of a hotel, this, that, and the third. Never hung out with the dude. Me and this guy's personality just never clicked. You ever had that best friend that was friends with someone, but you're both friends with that person, but you can't get along with each other? This is how it was, man. Like, we never got along. So in this number 3 video, what happened was, man, he had enough. He couldn't deal with it. Don't know too much of the backstory, even the girl, you know. And for his kid, I feel horribly bad, but he just couldn't handle it. One day, remember, he was off of drugs. He still was selling Suboxone, but he wasn't trying to sell any hardcore drugs. And when we would hear about it, it really was just to provide for his family. He couldn't figure out a way to adjust. He couldn't figure out a way to get employment. He couldn't figure out a way to live. And a day in his hotel room, he gave up. So he was carrying around a pistol. He was doing, you know, for protection, you know, bouncing back in hotels. Had his girl, his daughter sitting there, and he looks at them one day, done. And it's just crazy because I seen dude, and, you know, he came to a place where I was at to, you know, help out a friend with something, and the next time I just hear he shot himself in the head. And it was crazy because it was just like, he actually got clean, he actually got sober, and he still couldn't handle it. He couldn't handle life, and he still took his life. And it was sad, man. It was a huge connection point that I could have ended up easily like that, because when you're changing from getting sober to clean, and you got a felon and drug addict attached to you, no one wants to hire you, man. Big red flags, high risk, stamped with a do not hire sign on you, man. It's crazy. But that's my number 3, man. It's just sad. Straight person I knew committed suicide in front of his daughter and in front of his wife. Gave up. And he was actually getting clean, but, you know, to the extent still not doing everything right. But I'm going to talk about a girl I grew up with as a kid, and I feel guilty about this one because it has really affected me about a week before her murder, and the murders never happened. So when I was young, I met this girl named Zoe. We got really close, really close, and I ended up just doing my thing. I was a loner. I didn't want to get my feelings hooked up to anybody, so when it was with her, it was done. Moved on, kept moving. So later down the line, when I was in my drug addict state, I would never be supportive of this at all. So when I was using drugs, selling drugs, I didn't care what other people did. What you do is you do you. As long as I'm not getting arrested and I'm not going to jail, you do it. So kept in contact with Zoe, go over there to party at a little house she was renting, and it was sad. Found out that she was in prostitution, and it was sad. It was crazy. It was something, but she figured out that's how she was able to survive, and she actually made a ton of money from it. And at that time, I was not a good person, man. I was not good at all. And what I mean was, anyone that sees someone do that, get them away from that life, man. That is such a cry for help. It's horrible, man. And I think it's even more disturbing when people actually force women to do that. It's crazy. It's nasty. It's not cool. None of that. It's nasty, bro. So the reason why I feel guilty, man, because I let it happen, and then she would have, you know, a decent amount of money and say, well, I want to get drugs. Go get drugs. Cool. Yep, got you. And then that went on for a little bit. I ended up getting locked up and didn't see her since then. So here comes the crazy story. I go into a halfway house trying to do things right. I somehow get a hold of Zoe. I can't figure out to this day how I got her information. But I call her on the phone. I'm riding the bus. You know, this, that, and third. What you doing, you know? And she's like, man, it was crazy. It was like a weekly thing where things just like shot down like, you know, when you hit rock bottom, literally it kept hitting rock bottom for her, you know? So the first week I call her and she's just like, you know, man, I'm on meth, man. And I'm like, what? Like, you know, this girl, you gotta think, this girl I grew up in my life, that she was solid, but she was cool. She was a good girl, had a good family, you know? Like, this is crazy, right? She's like, I'm on meth, I'm speeding, I'm doing whatever I'm supposed to be doing, and it's bomb, you know, I'm just jacking vehicles, I'm stealing cars, I'm dipping, I'm riding, and I'm just like, bro, you need to be careful, you know what I mean? Like, another thing I feel like maybe I should have interviewed more, but I was just at a person like, if people are going to do what they do, they're going to do what they do, and I can't stop that. So I called the next week, and she goes, man, I'm on meth again, but I'm jacking rides all the time. I'm stealing these rides. I'm cruising around. I'm going 100. I'm going 100 miles per hour. I'm high on meth. I'm enjoying life. Like, I'm having these conversations over the phone. I'm at a halfway house. I'm like, shoot, like, I'm going to kind of cut ties for her with a bit because, you know, she got it turned all the way up to a 10. I ain't even about that no more, like crazy. So I cut ties with her and let her down the line through a friend. It was an article in Denver that she was murdered and killed and just thrown into a dumpster. And it broke my heart, man. Like, someone I personally knew was just straight up killed and thrown into a dumpster. And it wasn't even a couple weeks where I talked to her, you know. She was really high off drugs, but no one deserves to go through that, you know. And when she was murdered, man, like, they didn't care because of her, you know, old lifestyle. She had some prostitution charges. She had a record. You know, a strung out person doing that, they're like, man, whatever. Till this day, haven't ever found her killer, you know. And a girl that I grew up with so close that I probably should have intervened to help out and just kind of let her keep living, ended up dead. Straight up killed, thrown in a dumpster, like trash, and forgot about it. And still this day, the killer hasn't been found. Let's get into number one. This story is nuts, and it breaks my heart to hear it, man. This person I was very close with, and reading the story was nuts, man. Like, if I could ever get my hands on this dude, like, it would be game. Like, can't believe this stuff is real that happens in the world. So you can Google this name. You just want to make sure you put in like Colorado. So her name was Nikki Baldwin, right? And it was another girl, you know, close with, but like when I was younger, I still you know, had a crush on her, you know, and it was kind of messed up. Me and her nothing ever happened. Nothing ever happened. She was with one of my best friends for a long time, 6 years. Grew up through all my teens till I started doing all my jail time. She was around us because my best friend, Max, we bounced up. Anywhere I was known, I was with Max, and he was with his girlfriend, Nikki. You know, they were a very solid couple. I had mad respect for it. They weren't screwing over people. They weren't doing anything wrong. So I moved to Virginia after all my jail time. I get back and go see my sister and found out she was murdered. She was stabbed 28 times by a freaking creep that barely knew her and was mad that she was kicking her. And my sister was best friends with her. She has a, you know, rest in peace, Nikki shirt, everything. And so the story goes like this. Pretty much there was a dude that, I don't know if I've seen him before. I met a lot of people that she was like, yeah, we can get together. By this time, my buddy had moved on to a different girl. They broke up. Breakups happen, you know. And she was like, you know, oh, you can stay over here. You know, just a normal thing. Like, you're not thinking anything of it, right? And the story literally goes that she didn't want to be with him anymore. She just wanted him out. And the dude lost it. Only known her a couple weeks, was lucky enough to stay with her. She was already being like, all right, this dude is a little bit up. And I read the article, and the freaking dude, he's doing life now. Life in prison, of course, he got caught. Got angry with one of my old best friends. You know, beat her up, man. And then would take a knife and stab her 28 times. True story. And I still can't ever get my head around it. You know, a best friend that I grew up with, you know, was straight up, a couple of my friends have been murdered, you know, and it's just kind of because of the lifestyle changes, you know. I'm not going to speak on anything, you know, of course, with Tyson and Zoe and Nikki. What was crazy, you know, we would drink alcohol and stuff, but she wasn't around drugs, you know, but she was still, you know, not making the good choices. And when all these murders come up for people I knew, I hung out with and grew up, man, any of it, it could have been me. I used to put myself in just dangerous situations. This top 3 horrible, sad cases of people dying that I've been with. And I just want everyone to take from this video a positive thing, man, that, one, what message I'm trying to see. Yes, we need to be sober, we need to be clean, we need to do the right thing. But remember, just because you get sober and clean, things don't just magically fix itself, you know. We still have to go out there. We have to apply ourselves. We have to be bigger people than we were. And that's what breaks my heart with Tyson, because I knew him and he was really trying to do better. And the dude just gave up. Shot himself in his head in front of his kid. And it's crazy. You don't hear that. It's sad. But another thing from this video, man, is first of all, don't get high. Don't get around that lifestyle, because crazy stuff happens. People on drugs don't think clearly, as you can tell, and people, you're taking a gamble. You're making a deal with the devil. So I haven't posted up for a little bit, so I just wanted to get something out there. I appreciate, you know, the followers, the subscribers, even leaving some of the comments. You know, I take a lot of my inspiration from 23 and 1. I'm gonna get better on my videos, but I appreciate all the rest. Keep it rolling, man. Share this if you like it. Give me some. I take criticism good, can fix it. I want to keep doing it and just make the best videos possible. So I appreciate y'all. Y'all have a good day. You know, keep out.